So thousands of offices have jumped on the AI bandwagon, right? They've rolled out these super powerful tools, but in doing so, they've accidentally created this invisible, totally unmanaged layer of chaos. Today, we're going to dig into why your very first move in AI governance needs to be tackling that chaos with something called a prompt database. All right, let's kick things off with a story. And I bet this is going to sound painfully familiar to anyone out there who's using AI in a team setting. It always starts with just one simple question. Okay, picture this. It's 9 a.m. An IT manager gets a ping. Hey, do we have a standard prompt for our quarterly risk report? And the answer? No, we don't. And that right there, that's where the chaos kicks in. One person just copies a prompt they kind of remember using last week. Another one tries to rewrite it from memory. And then you've got the third person, trying to be helpful, of course, who pastes sensitive internal data directly into a public AI tool just to tweak the prompt. The crazy part is how fast this all falls apart. By noon, you've already got 3 totally different, unapproved, and inconsistent prompts floating around. And by Friday, well, leadership is staring at a bunch of risky, completely unauditable reports, scratching their heads and wondering, what on earth happened here? Look, this isn't just some simple mix-up. This is a fundamental operational failure. So many companies are just so excited to get these AI tools out the door that they completely forget to build the systems and the guardrails that actually make them effective and, safe. They are putting the cart way before the horse. And this isn't some hypothetical problem either. This kind of chaos has real, tangible costs. So let's break down what's actually at stake when you just let your prompts run wild. So when prompts are just treated like these casual, throwaway inputs, what do you lose? Well, you lose control. You lose consistency across your teams. You lose priceless institutional knowledge every time an employee walks out the door. You lose governance, which creates these massive compliance risks. And the real kicker? You end up losing the very productivity gains that AI was supposed to give you in the first place. But okay, what happens when you flip the script on this? With a prompt database, suddenly you have a single source of truth for all your best, safest, and most effective prompts. It actually encourages people to reuse what works instead of reinventing the wheel every single time, which saves countless hours. You get version control, you get clear ownership, just like you would for any other critical business asset. This becomes the bedrock, the foundation for your entire AI governance strategy. And that brings us right to the solution, the prompt database. So what is this thing exactly? Well, it's a pretty simple concept, but believe me, it has some really profound implications. Think of it like this. A prompt database is a managed, centralized library for your team's best AI prompts. It's a governed system where you can store, manage, and share what actually works. The real mindset shift here is huge. It's about stopping to think of prompts as these disposable, one-off questions and start treating them as what they are: valuable, reusable, operational assets. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually put it into practice? Well, the good news is you don't have to build this thing from scratch. There's already a whole market of solutions out there built to solve this exact problem. Let's just look at a few quick examples. You've got tools like Prompt Hub, which offers full version control, kind of like Git, but for your prompts. That's awesome for smaller businesses. Then there's Prompt Panda, which is all about creating a shared workspace so that knowledge doesn't get lost. And for the bigger players, for enterprises, tools like Prompts.ai combine the library with governance and access to multiple AI models. And hey, there are even more options, things like Prompt Drive for more lightweight, free-friendly organization, or AI PRM, which gives you access to this massive community library, but with team management features layered on top. Look, the point here isn't to endorse any one specific tool. It's just to show you that this isn't some branding idea. This is a mature space. The solution is already out there, waiting for you. All right, so now let's turn the lens back on your organization. It's time for a little self-diagnosis to ask some really critical questions about your company's AI health. First question, and be honest with yourself here. Where do your prompts actually live? Is there a central, approved repository that everyone knows to go to? Or are they just scattered across random Google Docs, old Slack messages, and floating around in people's heads? Okay, next question. What about your people? If your number one most creative AI user, your prompt genius, quits tomorrow, does all of their knowledge, everything they've figured out, just walk right out the door with them? Because that is a huge and honestly, a really overlooked risk. And finally, let's talk about mindset. Are you treating prompts with the seriousness they deserve, like a governed operational asset, the same way you treat critical software or data? Or are they still just informal, one-off experiments with basically zero oversight? Now, if you found yourself hesitating, if you struggle to answer those questions with a confident yes, well, that hesitation, that's a signal. It's a big red flag that's pointing to a critical gap in your entire AI strategy. So here's the key takeaway, the one thing I really want you to remember. A prompt database is not a nice to have. It's the first control plane you need for AI productivity, security, and governance. It has to come before the policies, before the audits, before you even think about getting into more complex stuff like AI agents. It all starts with the prompts. Because at the end of the day, your AI is only as good, only as powerful and reliable as the prompts you feed it. So the question is really simple. Who is managing yours?